All right, the remodel begins. So here is the dreaded before shot of my room. This is my office, and this is the room that'll be getting the most work done to it, with the floor put in and a new desk and all that stuff. As you can see, it is a complete disaster in here right now. There is stuff all over the floor. I've got all of this here. This was actually a wine fridge that I'm going to sell because I don't drink anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then this is just an old little table thing that I bought to put a printer on a long time ago. And then I call this my corner of randomness. So I've got a tripod and a bag for a tripod. And watch, look at this. That used to be my work computer. Look at that. You had 2 card slots in there. Look how thick that thing is. And it weighed about 7 pounds. And then that's my old ThinkPad. That finally stopped working. I don't know why I still have it, but I think it just served me well for so long that I can't get rid of it. So there is the mess that is that. Way too many cases around here at this point in time. The mini muffin pan that you guys like. And then just a box of randomness. So what I'm going to do is take the computer itself and temporarily relocate it to the kitchen, on the table in there, so that I actually still have a workstation while I'm doing all this. Alright, so I just finished filming what will probably be my last video in the H440 case, so I kind of wanted to just be a little, I got the light right behind me, be a little bit wild and just start playing around with some GPU temps. So took aftermarket cooling and a reference design, kind of decided to see what happens with temps in the case depending on which card you're using, and the results were interesting. So now the case is just kind of chilling without its panels on it, and you can see with the standard fan profile, the front 140mm fans aren't even spinning, and the ones on the top are spinning at a very, very low RPM, as is the one in the back. I mean, you can almost see the logo still. It's spinning at such a low speed. And then I do have my little temperature sensor in here reading the temps, which are 26.5 degrees and dropping now that I'm not running a load on the system. And you can see right here, there's my CPU temps with the Hyper 212, and not bad. This little thing does a good job, and this is with a 4.2 overclock, but it is at idle. So anyway, I've got a lot of cleaning up to do, and then I've got to get to this. So here's the big project. Now, here's the flooring. So this flooring right here is what's in this box. So there's the same thing. You can see my desk where the computer was. I've relocated that out to the dining area for now because all of this is going to get taken apart. All of this has to be taken out of the room, and then the carpet is going to get ripped up. So that's going to happen in this room. And then this room, which has a bed with a bunch of cat hair on it and just all kinds of stuff just piled in it. Case boxes and components. I've got a couple of motherboards just sitting up here. So anyway, yeah, this is going to get taken out. The real challenge here is, here's some more stuff sitting up here. As you can see, everything is just stacked in here. I've got artwork and a gigantic TV, so that is going to be a bear to move that. But anyway, so that's going to become a closet, actually, that room. And then this room is going to be a lot cleaner because of that. And what I'll probably do is actually put some shelves up and stuff in there as well to hold things in place. So, all that said, it's getting a little chilly in here now. I set the air conditioning back really far because I needed to keep it at 73 degrees when I was doing those temperature tests to keep everything consistent as far as the temps were concerned. So it's time to get this all cleaned up. You got my script on the camera. Then here's all the stuff for my future build just sitting over here. I've got the 780 Ti, which I just put in the system, and then the Raptor M45 mouse. I did end up getting that, excuse me, after a lot of people recommended it. And then, of course, the Z97WS board is still there. Has been chilling for a while now. And the thing about the 780 Ti, the reference design card is a heck of a lot smaller than the classified was. With the classified, the card came to about right there. It just barely made it over this lip to install, and then it stuck out super far. These cables were almost pressing up against the plastic on the case up at the top right there. So a lot more room in here with that card. And you can see temps down to 24 Celsius, so staying pretty nice and chilly in there. I've got my little Asus Nexus sitting here, which I need to plug in. Let me hit the power button on that. This actually is really nice. I've been using this as my tool for my camera, actually. So let me go ahead and hook that up. I'll show you. All right, so what I do is I plug this in directly to my actual camera, my 70D. I had to think for a minute what it was. And what's really nice is when I turn this on, when the camera comes on, so does the application that it uses. I get an error message, but I just bypass that and then everything's okay. So this is actually really nice because it lets me sit down and actually see that I'm in the frame, whereas with the really small little window that's on the camera, that's hard for me to do. So I can talk to the camera and still be able to see that I'm in frame, which is really nice. So some of the things about this that are really handy, besides just being able to frame myself up, here, I'll come down here so I'm kind of in the frame. So you can see the camera has a nice autofocus on it, and it's actually focusing in on the camera itself right now. But I've got it set so it stays focused on my face. So what I can do with this is I can change my aperture on the fly. So if I wanted to get a longer focal length, I can do that. You'll notice that it makes the video darker depending on the aperture that I choose. So I'd have to adjust my ISO in this case because I stay at a fixed 1/50th on my shutter for video. So this is where I can go in and I can adjust all of those. So I can jump up to, you know, 4,000 if I want to, or I can go back down to 400. And it just allows me to see everything in real time. If I do want to see the histogram, I can pull that up. And I can change my zooms. I can do all kinds of different stuff here. I can change the aspect ratio that I want it to actually frame. So if I'm just doing, you know, photography, I can have it do the full window, or in the case of video, I need to have it on 16:9, so it puts that little letterbox up there. So I can actually see that this part of the video would not be in frame. I've got all my different autofocus settings I can go into here. This is the one that I use the most often. This is the actual autofocus mode. So if I'm talking, I'll keep it on face detection. Otherwise, I'll do zone or live. So let me get out of there. Basically, most of the options you have on your camera, your picture styles are on here. All of your different white balance temperatures are on here if you want to change how that looks on the fly. So what's really cool is you can go in here and you can look at what you've actually already recorded, and then you can play it back if you want to see it. You know, say you record a bit and then you want to preview that. You can actually click on that, and we want to start the clip over because I was already playing it at one point. And it'll actually go back and play your clip. So there's the testing on that, and you can scrub through to different points in the clip. From below the card and vent it out the back, which was keeping temperatures actually a little bit cooler. So that's pretty cool. You can get out of there, you can go back to your actual video application, and there you go. We're back in DSLR Controller again. So I'm actually going to record myself talking to the camera, so you can see it works really well, and this is really handy to have this. So anyway, I need to get to editing some video and getting back to tearing things out in the house. All right, the sun is illuminating the disastrous mess that waits out in the entryway, so I'll turn on the light so you can get that. Removed a lot of stuff from the middle bedroom, and this is why I need a dumpster, because there's just a lot of boxes here. And then I probably need to hit up the neighborhood garage sale and probably just basically give away a lot of this stuff, because this is actually, this piece of stereo equipment right here I got when I graduated from junior high, I think. I think I got this when I started high school. So that's how old that is. And the same for the speaker setup. So yeah, that stuff has been around for quite a while. This I need to donate. It's still that Dell computer that I got for no reason whatsoever, thanks to a fluke on Amazon's part. So I think the Humane Society is in need of a machine, so that will go to them. Oh, you heard me talk about animals. This dude is not happy about what's happening. I have tore up his entire world. I know. And here's the room now. So all of the carpet has been removed. It's very echoey in here. So yeah, everything's kind of just packed in here. The exercise bike is kind of taking up some space. And this TV, I don't know what I'm going to do with this TV, but I have to find something to do with it because it is really big and really taking up a lot of space in here. This fake plant is probably going to have to go. I don't know what its deal is, but I think I inherited that from my parents when they did a remodel. They handed it down to me. These are pictures that I need to actually hang out in my bedroom still, and then just lots of empty boxes. So eventually what I'm going to do is put up some shelving in here going along these walls all the way around, and then be able to put some boxes and various things up there. Because I do like to hold on to the boxes, especially for computer cases, because you never know when you're going to have to ship stuff out. And then I'm keeping the box for the audio engine speakers as well, in case those have to be sent in for any kind of a warranty thing. But a lot of this stuff can go. The Rock Band drum kit is still out there. So yeah, now the key is I have to make some room. Wow, the audio changes so much when you jump from room to room. I have to take out all of this stuff in here and then start getting this carpet tore out. Already the smell is much better. It smelled really strongly of cat, just cat, not cat pee or cat anything, just cat. Like when you go into someone's house that has like 4 cats and you're like, oh, they have a cat here. Well, that's what these 2 rooms smelled like. Just because the carpet's been here so long and, you know, the cat threw up on it and I'd clean it and he'd throw up on it and I'd clean it. So having the wood floors in, that's easy to clean, just wipe it up, everything's good to go. So already in this middle room, which smelled horrible, the smell is working its way out of it. And I can smell it even more now when I go in the front office. So getting the carpet out is making a huge difference. My allergies are already kicking in full force, so I'm sure it's just gonna get worse. So I'm just gonna get to it, probably take a Claritin. And just like nothing even happened, the cat is back in the window. As you can see, the carpet is out. And clearly when they were building my house, they just decided to paint the trim work on the concrete before they laid down the carpet. So there's drywall mud and spray paint, or not spray paint, but paint and primer all over the floor. That's fine, so it'll be covered up, but it's funny to look at the shortcuts they took when they were building the house. Standing underneath the ceiling fan, this is the face of a man who's not in shape. All this physical labor today, and it's kind of hot in here. So yeah, got stuff all over my shirt, all dusty. The Claritin is working though, so that's good. But yeah, so the carpet for the most part is out. Now I just gotta get a little bit of support in here to move some of the heavier objects around. And then we'll eventually have to move those out of the room. And then we can start, this is the other thing that's a pain. Because my house is on a slab, they actually put the tack strip for the carpet directly into the concrete slab using a hammer drill. So you gotta pull that out, and then everywhere where there's a nail, most of the time you gotta fill that in with concrete fill, just like a patch, so that you don't have a bunch of holes in the floor. And you gotta do that all the way around the whole room, so that's not fun to do. So now I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna put everything, get everything moved around, and then get ready to put in the actual floor. All that said, I have got to do laundry and probably eat dinner, and it's like, I took my watch off because I got too sweaty. What time is it? Oh look, it's 10 o'clock. So I got some sweat on my nose, a drip right there. Right, well the dumpster is finally here, so it's not too loaded up yet. All I've got in there right now is some of the flooring and things like that, but it's about to get loaded. And all that junk. So what I gotta do now, I collapsed all these, gotta collapse these down so they don't take up as much room. Then get those in there. It's precious space in this dumpster. These aren't cheap things to rent, but when you kind of become a pig and collect up a bunch of stuff you don't need, that's what happened. I was gonna do some grilling last night, realized I was out of propane, which is why I always gotta have a backup Weber. Alright, I'm not dressed for the occasion at all to be out here tearing up boxes. So I'm gonna go change, get into a t-shirt and some jeans, that way I can get them dirty and it won't matter, and then get sweaty and get to work. So went to Sam's Club today because I'd get more Skittles for the gumball machine in my office. I couldn't resist. Look at that, 12 individual snacks. Are you mad because I'm not opening the windows? No? Okay. What? See, you're gonna think I'm gonna do it, but I'm not. Dude, it's like 89 degrees outside. All right, much better. Much better. Way more space. Now, of course, the dumpster's pretty, well, it's not pretty full, but I'd say I probably half filled it at this point. Of course, my parents did come over and put some stuff in there as well. But yeah, it's nice to have all this space here. And I didn't even remember that I have all these things. So I can put that around my trees now. Who knows how many years those are back there. Someone got me this for Christmas, I think 4 or 5 years ago. I don't really have anywhere to put it. So it's been living out here, and I kind of forgot about it as well. And of course my season's greeting sign that I put up in my office in the window every year. So now I can get to that a lot easier. And my bike has a home now. Air conditioning. A lot of people hate the winter. It's not that I hate summer, but I really do hate being super hot. And the humidity has just been crazy lately, and it's starting to fire back up again. So now that that's out of the way, it's just time to start clearing out some of the stuff in the other half of the house, get ready to put the floor down, sort through some of the other trash, and find some things to actually put in the neighborhood garage sale this weekend. And hopefully get some room made in here, and then finish getting that bedroom converted over to some storage, so I don't have stuff just sitting randomly in the house. Right, well, last week I brought up the topic of budget builds, and I asked you guys out there what you wanted to see. Intel with like the G3258 20th anniversary Pentium overclocked, or AMD, or what you wanted, and I got about 50-50 on that. Split right down the middle. A lot of interest in the Pentium chip, the unlocked Pentium chip. But then, a couple of days into the whole thing, all of a sudden it started becoming pretty popular, the idea of the budget Intel versus the budget AMD build. So I kind of like that idea. So I started putting in place some ground rules to make sure that I kept it somewhat consistent. So what I wanted to do was make sure that the Intel build was Intel and NVIDIA, and then make sure that the AMD build was AMD through and through. So AMD for the chip, AMD for the GPU. Didn't want to go with an A10 because I didn't want to waste money on having the integrated graphics chip, because I already knew that it was going to get smoked if I put a dedicated card into the Pentium build, which I was going to have to do. And I'm just not really into the whole IGP thing. So I decided that I was going to set about roughly $150 limit on the GPU. See what we could do with a $150 GPU. So what was interesting is, in the NVIDIA side of things, I actually ended up getting a 750 Ti. Now this is the EVGA one, which is pretty renowned for being loud. I don't know if they fixed that. The fan was locked at a really high RPM, but it was 150, and then it had a rebate that took it down to 120. So there was like this gap between like 120 and like 200 with the NVIDIA side. So the 750 Ti won that one out, because there really just wasn't a whole lot else I could really find that was going to be a modern card that was going to fall into that price range. But then what was interesting is when I went over to the AMD side to do the same research, all of a sudden the R9 270 is popping up around $149.99 all over the place. So that one just squeaked into the $150 cap. That's not really a fair matchup from what I'm guessing. Now we'll have to see when it becomes the chip, matched with the card and everything like that. But I have my thoughts on how that's going to turn out. But cost is cost, and the rules are the rules that I set. So what'll be interesting is once I do these builds, I'll probably start swapping around some of the hardware and just see, without all these rules in place, all AMD and then all Intel, NVIDIA, what I can actually get out of picking the most economical parts, logically, that you'd put, and then we'll just see what kind of build we can get out of mixing the best of both worlds. So for the AMD processor, I already have it. It is the Athlon X4 760K, so you can see it there. Looking at my desktop now, it's kind of reminiscent of that, very similar look to the FX. This was, again, since the Pentium chip was $75, I decided to try to find something $75. Boom, $74.99. Same exact price as the Pentium. So that was a little serendipitous. Oh, and then the mouse. I asked you about what mouse you recommended. Ended up getting the Raptor M45. Again, watched for rebates. Found one with a rebate. Haven't even taken it out of the box yet. It's still in here. As a matter of fact, I think you can... I thought this like folded open. Yeah. So, yeah. I gotta unbox that and put it to the test. I just feel very out of place since I'm out here in the echoey family room. So again, apologize for the audio. It's gonna be very echoey out here because there's tall ceilings and wood floors and everything. So, and then I kind of went crazy on power supplies. I've got a 500 watt, and then I've got a 550 watt, and then I just ordered another Corsair 500 watt and a Corsair 600 watt because I did research on all of the different rebates that were out there, and I got all of these power supplies for $30 or less, just of course with rebate, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't double dipping on rebates that were going to cancel each other out. So I've got power supplies for days, but hey, you can never have too many of those. And then everything I've actually got sitting on right now is sitting on the case for the Fractal Node 804 that I just received in today, so I will be posting my thoughts on that probably this weekend, and then I'll probably actually build out a little MATX build in it just so we can kind of see how everything looks in the case itself. And then Fractal is going to be sending their new Core, like 1100 series, so I'm going to pair that up with a Corsair, one of their newer Corsair cases that's around the same deal. Both cases are around 50 bucks, so kind of went that route on that one. So anyway, there's a little sneak peek of what's happening there. And finally, I'm sick of talking about it, the 4790K Devil's Canyon chip should be here tomorrow. I feel like I've been anticipating this thing forever. The Pentium Anniversary chip, on the other hand, is delayed until the second week of July. So either the demand was heavier than they thought, I'm not sure. I had it pre-ordered on Amazon, and it was saying it was going to ship on the 20th of June. And then Amazon just emailed me and said, nah, just kidding, your order's canceled. So I went over to Newegg, and Newegg's showing like July 7th or something like that. I can't remember the exact date, but it's pre-ordered. So that'll be the thing holding up the face-off build, which is fine because I have plenty of stuff to do to keep me busy. So there's all my rambling for the week. This will be in 2 parts since this is, you know, the big remodel vlog, TUVlog. But I'm a little frazzled, I'm not gonna lie. Things have been super, super crazy at work. Been waiting for a lot of components to come in to be able to do anything else in the channel, so that's finally happening. So that's all starting to pile up. And then I've got this little project going on at home. So thanks for bearing with me through this. I know it's been kind of a quiet week and a half, 2 weeks on the channel, but hopefully we'll get back into the groove of things soon once I get some things ironed out here. So, as always, if you enjoyed the TUVlog or any of my other videos, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button. It helps me out. You can also follow me on Twitter over at Tech Uploaded. You know what? You know the drill. If you watch any of my other videos, don't be a stranger. Check back soon.